once again. We are going to jump into some live teaching when it comes to premium branding for your online coaching business, for your online business in general. And if you're using social media of any kind, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, any of these platforms to get clients, to promote your business, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But today I really want to focus on premium branding. And this is really important because, in my opinion, the type of people you want to work with are high level people who are committed, who are serious about their outcome that they're trying to get, the result. People that are not just curious, but are serious and are committed. And this is key in your messaging, in your content, in everything that you produce. So I really just want to spend some time to talk about this premium branding. One of the immediate examples that comes to my mind is Apple. Um, Everybody knows Apple. Everybody knows what an iPhone is. Everybody knows, you know, what they who they are, what they represent, what their logo looks like. And this is intentional. There's a reason for this. This is not them just throwing at the wall, throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks. But this is actually strategic, right? Everything from the box, the packaging, the minimalism, the presentations that they have once a year to roll out their new products, the wait list, people waiting in line for a product. Um, all of this is part of premium branding. And as you can see behind me, I have here on my whiteboard the first and most foundational step to a premium brand is substance. What is substance? We're talking about the core, the essence, the actual thing that you are providing, whether it's a product or if it's you who, in the context that I teach mainly is coaching and consulting online. You are the person that people are paying to work with. People want proximity to you. People want your advice. People want, access to you. And all of that starts with substance. All of that starts with who are you? What have you provided to society? What value have you given to people before even making an ask, right? For, like selling a product or selling coaching or whatever it is, right? And substance is just who you are, or substance is what the product is at its core, right? And every single premium brand starts with an excellent substance. It starts with something that is of high value, high quality. This is something that in reality is just great, right? The material, right? Let's just say the material of a certain purse or a certain vehicle is of a higher caliber than maybe a lower quality something that you'll find in a Walmart or something that you'll find in um yeah, if we're just using purses as an example, right? Generally speaking, the material that's used for a Birkin bag or a Louis Vuitton bag is of a higher caliber, a higher quality than something that you're going to find in Walmart. Okay, the materials are more expensive, um, and the time put in, the artistry, the creativity, the vision, everything that goes into it is different, right? And then that is communicated now when we get to the next step, which I'm not going to jump too far ahead because I want to spend more time here on number one, substance. But all that to say that the substance of what you're offering has to be quality, right? Like with a premium brand, you can't be a newbie, you can't be a beginner, you can't be um in a testing phase for a product or for coaching or whatever it is. Like it has to be of substance to be premium. And what is premium? Let's even back up even more. Premium is something of high caliber, of excellence, of high value. Okay, premium is the type of stuff that people will pay a large amount in order to have access to, or to have that possession of, or whatever it is, just because of the fact that it is premium. Most people who spend money on premium things, whether it's a purse or a car or wanting to be personally coached by somebody who's a high level coach, a lot of it has to do with status, and we're going to get to that, and that's number 3, right? By association, right? This is why you see a lot of big companies nowadays like Gap or American Eagle or Aloe, right? These brands are um, hiring celebrities who are well known, who have a certain brand of themselves, a certain messaging, a certain personality of themselves. And what that brand wants to do is to associate their value with the value of that celebrity or influencer that is very well known. Okay, so the value of that celebrity or influencer now wearing that piece of clothing or that bag or whatever it is, that value of that person and what they're known for will be transferred to the product or to the other person that's pairing themselves with that, right? So all of that is really important. Okay, and this is what premium is. Premium, again, is just high level, high caliber excellence. And when we're talking about branding, we're talking about messaging, association, story, perceptions, right? And we're going to get into that. So substance is, again, it's foundational. You can't get around that. You can't provide a dollar store quality product or coaching program if you're charging $50,000 for coaching for the year. You just can't have that be a dollar store quality, or you can't be a newbie, you can't be a beginner. It has to be um yeah, it just has to be something that is of high caliber. Okay, so that's foundational. There's no shortcuts with that. First of all, work on the product, work on yourself, work on whatever it is that you're selling, make it of high caliber. Okay, second thing, we're going to jump to step 2, is story. What is the story surrounding your product? What is the story surrounding you as a person? If you yourself are the coach or the consultant that is hiring out your services, what is the story surrounding you? When you think of Lamborghini, or you think of Porsche, or you think of Rolls Royce, even if you don't know all the background, you didn't sit down and watch a YouTube documentary on all these brands, like, you just know there's a story of luxury tied to these brands. You just know with their messaging, with the type of people that buy these products, the everything that revolves around this product or this person, the story is just like, wow, like it feels distant, and it feels like maybe it's out of reach, and you just want to reach for that thing because of the story, right? Which eventually leads to status, right? Which we're going to get to again. But what is the story around you? And I'm talking now to my coaches, my consultants specifically. What is your story? What is the story that you're telling? What is the rags to riches story, or what is the origin story of, like, where were you and how did you get to where you are today, right? And this is huge, especially when it comes to coaching and consulting, because you as a coach, if you yourself are the product, so to speak, or you are offering yourself to help and to advise people, people are going to buy into who you are and your story if they identify with it enough and relate to you enough to say, man, I'm in the place where he used to be. And since he's now where he is, I believe because he did it, I can do it too. Okay. So this was when I was a lust addiction recovery coach for Christians. My story was, hey, I struggled with this from middle school. I was watching this stuff that I knew I shouldn't have been watching, but I was addicted to it. I was just watching it whenever I had the chance. And eventually, um, even when I grew older and I became a pastor, and I still struggled with this thing behind closed doors. And now, by the grace of God, I'm free because of what God has done in my life, and also because of this, and that, these steps that have contributed to my growth And now, praise God, I have a family, beautiful wife, a daughter, and I'm living out God's calling on my life, right? So that is the story that was associated with my uh with me, but an extension of me was my coaching program, which was helping people, or specifically Christians struggling with lust, wanting to overcome and to get to that transformation, which I am embodying. Okay. So that story that I communicated over and over and over and over and over again, which is honestly your biggest piece of sales, um, you know, what's the word that I'm trying to use? Your most compelling sales pitch is your story, especially if you are an online coach or consultant teaching people how to get to a certain result that you've achieved. Your story is number one, flat out, point blank. Telling your story gives you credibility. It gives your system and your process credibility. It allows people to build trust in you as a person. They get to know you because you're being vulnerable. Now they're comfortable with being vulnerable with you, and open to getting help from you. So when you share your story, you are actually encouraging someone else to have the courage to step into the same process and same journey that you've gone through. Right? So story is so important, and this is the truth about branding. Branding is all about perception. I talked about substance, and I talked about the difference between a Louis Vuitton bag or a Birkin bag and a Walmart bag. And yes, while the materials that are being used are higher quality with brands like Louis Vuitton or Birkin versus a Walmart bag, the quality of the materials and the value of the materials are not substantial that much more than the Walmart bag, truthfully. Why do I say that? Because all material is material. All material wears out. All material, you know, just gives in, and eventually, yes, you could take care of it, but material is just material. It's just physical. It's gonna rot. It's gonna get old. So yes, we have even that material. We have perceptions of what is higher quality and what is not, which we're just told, oh wow, this is alligator skin, or this is, high quality, Tuscan leather. It's like, okay, so we just accept the messaging and the story behind this material, but really it's still just material, right? So all this to say that the material of these higher value premium products are higher and more expensive, but at the end of the day, if you truly look at it side by side, the material is not that different. Okay. And this is a rumor. I don't know if this is 100% true, but I've even heard that some really big brands for purses, they actually make their bags in China, and then they'll send them to like Italy or like another country just to assemble the product, and then they'll send the product out so that way they can say made in Italy, or made in, a country that has a better reputation, a better brand, right? There you go. Better perception. So yes, the story is foundational as well, that surrounds and covers. It's almost like the substance is the cake, but then the story is like the icing, the decorations, the aromas, the perception of what is that story, or what is that substance, what is you know what is the value of this thing. And it's used with words, it's used with senses, it's used with visuals, right? Which again is all perception. So these bags are not that different when it comes to substance. Yes, it is different, maybe 100 something dollars or more to actually create a Louis Vuitton bag, and a Walmart bag is maybe, I don't know, maybe less than that, $5. I don't know the exact numbers. So there is a gap in terms of what it takes to create these products. But what really makes the gap enlarged when it comes to the price tag, when you look at a Louis Vuitton bag that's worth thousands of dollars, in a Walmart bag that's going to stay $10 or $5. What takes it from $100? Let me actually draw this on the board. I think this is important. I was going to draw these in different colors. Walmart. Cost to make. Okay. And again, this is very much just this is an estimate. This is not exact. Okay. So we see here the cost to make. Let's just say the Walmart bag is $5. Let's just say the Louis Vuitton bag is $100 to make. Okay. But the value is what we're going to look at. Okay. The value is what is on the price tag. How much are people actually paying for these products? Okay. So value, we're going to put 1,000 plus. And then here, we're going to put $10. How can that be? What is it that took this LV bag to 10x, even more than that? Most of the bags are even more than that. 10x their price tag and value from their cost to actually make the product versus a Walmart which just 2x'd or doubled the cost to the value. It's the story. We talked about the substance, right? The substance is the cost to make it, the creativity. And I'm not downplaying the substance. I'm not saying that, Louis Vuitton doesn't require more time and energy and creativity and vision, because a lot of the energy and everything goes actually into step number 2. Yes, into step number 1, substance, but into step number 2 specifically, you're going to see that is where the major price difference comes. The infusion of the story, the associations of luxury with Louis Vuitton as opposed to Walmart. This is where the price tag goes up and where the value goes up. Same thing with your coaching package or your consulting package. Okay, I'm looping it back around. Your substance, yes, needs to be solid. What you're offering needs to be solid. Your coaching, your modules, your mentorship, your community, your in-person events, your retreats, whatever it is that's included in your coaching and your mentorship has to be of substance. But what's going to take it to the next level when it comes to premium branding, when it comes to pricing, when it comes to charging a $3,000 coaching program to 10xing that and making it a $30,000 coaching program, is the story that you tell. It is the decoration, the icing, the aromas, the scents, the presence that you tell with your messaging, with your content, with your own presence as a coach and as a teacher, right? How you show up online. What is your content communicating? What is your language communicating? What is your substance, who you are, communicating? And many times it's just, what is your price communicating? Your price commands authority, truthfully. When you hop on a virtual event like a webinar or a challenge or a one-to-one sales call with someone on Zoom, when you price drop, meaning when you tell people how much it costs to work with you, that communicates to them the value that you have to offer. Yes, maybe they've spent 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours with you and during a live event, or maybe they've binged a bunch of your content and they've seen your expertise and they can see what you know and what you what you have to offer. But when you share and you price drop, that says so much more than a lot of the other things that come before that. Even though they may not know you that well, even though they may be like, I love what this guy's saying, but I'm still trying to figure out, if I should work with him or not. When you price drop, it's like, okay, yeah, no, this guy's the real deal. This girl's the real deal. It's 30K to work with them for the year. So the story that you communicate also includes your price. Premium branding and premium storytelling for your business includes your price. That alone should encourage y'all to start raising your prices. I remember when I first started doing mental health coaching, this is as I was transitioning out of pastoral ministry. I was a mental health coach online. This is over a year ago. And I was charging $50 per session. $50 per session, mental health coaching. And, I was doing it, and this was brand new to me. Coaching in general was brand new to me. So I was like, man, this is cool, $50, cool. I'm just helping people and whatever. But once I started getting more and more clients at $50 an hour, I was like, man, this is kind of exhausting. Like this is what I'm offering is worth a lot more than $50 because I'm giving an hour of my time and I don't get that time back. I'll get $50, but I won't get my time back. So this is where I got into high ticket coaching. This is where I discovered this new industry, this new field that I'd never heard of, right? Because I have a psychology background. So I'm familiar with counseling, the counseling space where people will charge anywhere from $100 to $300 for 1 hour for a counseling session, right? With a psychology background. And of course, they have insurance and they have other things that they can take, so that sometimes lightens the load for people and encourages people to do that. But once I heard about high ticket coaching, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So, high ticket coaching, for those who don't know, is you are charging based off of a result or an outcome that you are helping people achieve, as opposed to charging for the time that you are giving people. Okay. So the trap with counseling and kind of low level coaching is that you're giving your time away for money. And the thing about that is that you will never, like, if you stop putting in your time, your cash flow immediately like stops, right? You have to keep putting in an hour, an hour, an hour, hours, hours, and hours in order to keep getting cash flow being infused into your business and into, providing for your family. So it's a hamster wheel. High ticket coaching, you are charging a larger sum for a transformation that someone wants. Okay. An example is in certain gyms, they will charge for a personal training session where they will, for an hour, help you work out. They'll come up with your workout plan, help you work out for an hour, and then you go home. You pay $50 or $100 for that 1 hour. Instead of doing that, what a fitness coach could do, and this is what a high ticket coach, a fitness coach does do, what they do is they say, hey, this is the outcome that I'm going to help you get. I'm going to help you lose 50 pounds in the next 3 months. Okay. And what you're going to have to chart, what you're going to have to pay to lose 50 pounds in 3 months. And look at all the client results that I've gotten. This is a testimony from John. This is a testimony from Sandra. This is a testimony from Ethan. These people went through my process and they all reached the result. They lost 50 pounds in 3 months. Whoa, crazy. So if you want to work with me and if you want to get that same result, the investment is $10,000. And then some people be like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Like, I'm just here trying to get a $50 coaching session. Truthfully, those $50 coaching sessions are not going to change your life. Real transformation takes time and it takes commitment. Anybody who has ever reached a major transformation or had a major breakthrough in their life, it was not done in 1 hour. It was done over a long period of time of discipline, accountability, community, support, and consistency over a long period of time. This is what high ticket coaching does. It's an end result that you're trying to achieve, and you're hiring someone that has already achieved that result and has helped other people achieve that result in a certain time span, and what you're paying them is a large sum for that result or to help you get to that result, right? Because obviously you as the client, you have to show up and you have to put in the work. Just because you pay $10,000 to a coach doesn't mean magically it's like a genie appears and then boom, like you lose your 50 pounds in 3 months. No. But what happens is when you put in your 10K to, work with this high level coach, now there's a deeper level of internal accountability, because it's like, bro, I just dropped 10K on this. I need to show up and I need to lose this 50 pounds. I'm not about to lose 10K on nothing. So there's an internal accountability that takes place that now says, because I have invested in this, now I am committed. Because truthfully, as human beings, we value money. So when we put a large sum of money into something, we're going to value that thing that we invested into, right? And this is a principle of Jesus. Jesus says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also, right? And we talk about that in the context of, um, you know, worldly things over heavenly things, yes. But at the same time, what Jesus is saying is whatever you put money towards, that is what you value. If you look at your bank account and you see that you go to the movies every single week and you see that charge on your credit card, that tells me that you really value going to the movies, right? If you spent $100,000 to go to law school or medical school, that tells me that you really value medical school and this, path of being a doctor or a medical professional or a lawyer, right? So where your treasure is, meaning where you put your money, where you invest your money, that tells you and that tells the rest of the world where your heart is. What is it that you truly value? What is it that's really important to you? Not just what you say with your mouth, but as some people say, we vote with our wallets. Where's your money going? Check your bank account. You're going to see where your heart is based off of what you spend money on. So it's the same thing with coaching. If somebody drops $50 for a coaching session, for one coaching session, let's just say it's New Year's, right? It's January 1st. Let's go. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to pay $50 for a coaching session. I show up for that one coaching session. Man, I feel great after that. Let's go. I'm excited. And then they say, okay, well, are you ready to book the second session? And then the person's like, I don't know. My budget's kind of tight. I'll probably just try to do it on my own. January's done, February comes, person stopped going to the gym. Goes right back to where they were. Versus someone who comes in January 1st and hears this offer of lose 50 pounds in 3 months, high level coach, has helped other people accomplish the result, has done it himself. And he's like, hey, it's $10,000. It is a commitment, but I will do everything that I need to do to get you there. But this is the investment that you're putting into yourself, and you need to show up and do the work. And then the person says, you know what, I've been struggling with this for 40 years. I need to lose this 50 pounds. Let's go. Pays the $10,000. The mornings that the person wakes up and doesn't want to go to coaching sessions, they remember how much they spent and they say, you know what, I'm going to go do this whether I like it or not. So they show up to every coaching session, and guess what? By the end of the coaching program, they lose their 50 pounds. Or at the very least, they lost like 40 pounds, which is great as well. All this to say that high ticket coaching is, in my opinion, so many people have seen this, is one of the most transformational industries that I've ever seen because of the level of commitment, because the level of drive, because of the level of expertise that is in this industry and in this field that allows people to, you know, uh, put their services out there for the world and allows other people to hire them in order to get the help that they need without going through some, really institutional system with all this, bureaucracy and all kinds of things that it's just like, bro, like, just get me the result. Just help me make progress, right? So yeah, so this is high ticket coaching. I started off as a coach that was charging $2,500 for helping Christians overcome lust and their addiction to lust. And my first ever month, my price point was $2,500, and five people said yes to that offer. And that was $12,500 that I made my first ever month. This was over a year ago. And it blew my mind, broke my brain. I was like, what in the heck is this? What is this industry? Went all in, hired a business coach for $25,000, Myron Golden. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. He's great. And he has just taught me so much. And I have grown to a point where now I myself am charging $35,000 for a one-on-one package for a year if somebody wants to work with me at a very close level to get them the transformation that they want specifically in their business with social media. So all that to say that when you invest into yourself, when you know the knowledge, the wisdom, the skills that you're gaining, and you're constantly growing, you have a growth mindset. You're not waiting for anybody to give you a handout. You're just like, dude, I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to make it happen because nobody's going to come and spoon feed me. Nobody's going to come and rescue me. I just need to do something now for myself. If not, it's never going to happen. When you get to that point and you truly are convicted and you know that's the truth, that is when you move forward. That is when you begin to invest in yourself at such a high level. And trust me, this is not new. I mean, colleges, really, in my opinion, nowadays, for most people, college is a scam. You're getting in 50, $100,000 in debt, and most people, all they get is a piece of paper to show for it with no job, nothing to show for it, and it's just like you got scammed, and they never promise you a job. But the truth is, like, this system of college education is slowly declining because it's just not providing what people want. It's not producing what people want, and that is a stable job with an income so that they can take care of their family, whatever it is. So nowadays, because of the internet, because of coaching, because of AI, because of ChatGPT, anybody can just find the information that they need without having to go through a major college institution that has all these hoops and things that you got to jump through and make it through obstacles in order to get to the end result that you want. Instead of a 4-year degree, what if you could hire a coach and get to the result that you want in 1 year instead of 4, or 6 months instead of 4 years? Right? This is the beauty of this industry. So yeah, when you invest into yourself, and I said all that to say that we're already investing into ourselves. This is not a new thing. People invest into themselves through bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, doctorate degrees, right? But if you invest into yourself through coaching, through mentorship, through high level communities, putting yourself in rooms with people who are doing the thing at a high level, actually in the field right now, that you can learn from rather than learning from somebody who just knows the theory and is standing in an auditorium teaching it, but they've never done it. Right? If you could get into those rooms and you invest into yourself at a high level, whether it's $10,000, $25,000 like me, $55,000, whatever it is, you can now, with conviction, go out and charge for your services because of the knowledge, wisdom, and expertise that you now have, the skills that you've developed along the way. When you invest into yourself, you become a high value person that can now also provide a lot of value to others. right? Like the Alex Hormozy, he's a business expert on online on YouTube, and he has a lot of content out there. He says if you are broke and you're struggling financially, your goal is not to invest in the S&P 500 in index funds in the stock market. What you need to do is invest into the S&Me 500. Invest into yourself. Develop high level skills. Get in rooms where you're going to expand your mind and grow in your wisdom, grow in your knowledge. You're limiting yourself by your ignorance. Your ignorance is costing you hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars per year. What's the difference between you and somebody who's making $1 million a year? Ignorance. You just don't know what you don't know. You don't know the paths that exist that other people, it's just their everyday. You don't know the type of thinking, the type of networking and skill sets and things that exist out there if you're only in rooms where something else is normalized. A 9 to 5 paying $20 or $25 or $30 an hour. Like, it's just not going to do it for you. You're going to be around people with that broken mindset, right? And I'm not, making fun of people that are working those types of jobs, but I'm just saying for those that want more and are asking what's wrong, why can't I break through? Why can't I get out of this and get to, what these other people are making and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars? Like, why can't I do it? It's because you're in the wrong room. It's because you haven't invested into yourself, wisdom, knowledge, expertise, skill sets that you need to get to the next level. There's no way around that. There's no shortcut. So yes, when you become a high value person and you invest in yourself at a high level, you can charge at a high level. You cannot charge what you have not invested into yourself. If you have not invested $50,000 in yourself worth of coaching, you'll never have the conviction to charge $50,000 for your coaching because you haven't done it. And truthfully, you'd be a hypocrite to be charging people that amount knowing that you've never even done that same thing. Trying to tell people and beat people over the head saying you need to invest in yourself. You need to join my $50,000 program when you've never done it yourself. Right? So this is the importance of integrity and being a leader, because that's what coaches are. You are a leader who is leading people on the path that you've already been on. And when you invest in yourself at a high level, you will gain a conviction that everybody will just know, like, okay, this guy's actually not messing around. Like, he's serious. It sounds crazy, but he's serious. And it kind of makes sense. So this is high ticket coaching, charging for the result, everything that you need to get to the result. That still makes the person, the client, responsible for putting in the work, right? That doesn't alleviate any personal responsibility, but it does help them and give them internal accountability through what they've invested, and also the fact that they have external accountability with a coach, with a community, with a mentorship program that is surrounding them, helping them move forward to their goal. Okay. So we talked about number one, the substance. We talked about number two, the story, right? The narrative, the premium, the branding. We talked about how pricing plays a role in number two in the story. And number three is status. And this is really just a byproduct of number one and two. Status is something that everybody wants. Every human being, in some way, shape, or form, whatever it is that you yourself value, right? Everyone is different. For some people, they want to be valued and known because they have a lot of money. Some people want the status of being a person of integrity or a religious person, or I'm in ministry, so I'm godly, right? They want that status, right? Some people want the status of I'm good at this certain skill set, whether it's basketball or sales or something else, right? Everybody wants some sort of status or to be known as something, right? And this is why the keeping up with the Joneses idea is so big, where people are always comparing themselves. And especially on social media now, people want to be seen. People want to be out there. People want to be known for something. They want to post, right? When anybody says, no, I just post for me, bro, you're not just posting for you. You wouldn't be on social media. If you're posting something publicly, it's not just for you. It's also because, yeah, it can be self-expression, but truthfully, there's also a part of you that wants other people to see what's going on in your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Your friends, your family, strangers on the internet, like that's just the world we live in now. Okay. Status. Status is something that people want. And anything that has to do with premium branding always elevates the person's status. Because a person buys a Louis Vuitton bag, because a person drives a Lamborghini, because a person is a leader in their church, because a person is working with a high level coach, an entrepreneur who's famous. All of these things are for status in order to elevate one's own status. Okay. And from a Christian perspective, we want to stay humble 100% before God. But there's just this internal human need to be perceived as someone of worth and value. And there's nothing wrong with that. We need to believe, number one, that we are, children of God, that our value and our worth is founded upon that. And we live in a world where what we wear, what we eat, what we drive, the job that we have, the amount of money that we're making, all of these things make up our reputation and status in the eyes of the world. And we don't want to be looked down upon. We want people to look at us positively, in a positive light. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We're just human beings, just wanting to be accepted, right? We're just human beings that were made for love. Okay. But with premium branding, this is what you do within your business, within your product, within your coaching business or consulting program. You want your clients, your customer status to be elevated by associating with you in your brand. Because this is an extra layer that people are paying for, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. One of the major reasons why I paid $25,000 to work with Myron Golden is to elevate my status. Just being completely real with y'all. Because of Myron Golden's brand, because of his presence, because of how much value he has provided to people, because of his wisdom and his knowledge and his expertise, number one, I wanted to learn from his substance. I want to learn the tactics, the strategies, the mindset, the wisdom, the be in the room with people that are high level entrepreneurs and business owners. I wanted that, foundationally speaking, and to make more money. Point blank, straight up. That's number one. And I wanted my status to be elevated because of my association with him. Because as a business coach myself, I know that if I'm associated with someone who is a very high level business coach, making millions of dollars per year, I want my brand to be associated with his brand, and that would elevate my brand and my perception and my reputation. I'm just letting y'all know straight up. Okay. Anytime someone purchases something that is of high value, that is premium, that is expensive, again, whether it's a Louis Vuitton bag, a Lamborghini, a Mercedes Benz, a luxury anything, luxury vacation, they want to experience the substance of that thing and the status of that thing. They want to be part of the story of that brand. They want to be associated with the story of luxury, with the story of expertise, the story of wisdom, of whatever it is that the substance is. They want to be associated with that. I'm putting y'all on game right now. I'm telling you, this is some stuff that my clients get, but I'm just putting it out there because I just want people to learn this stuff, because a lot of people are just struggling financially in this economy and just so many things. And it's like, dude, if you just start your own business, if you just create content online, if you just start sharing your wisdom, your expertise, whether it's fitness, health, business, finance, fashion, literally anything you could think of, whatever it is that's your story, artistic ability, leadership ability, if you put yourself out there, if you've experienced a transformation that you have achieved, and you are confident and know that you can help other people achieve that, put yourself out online, tell your story, create content that has to do with your your niche, your expertise, your wisdom. Just turn on the camera, just start talking. Don't overthink it. It can be just on your phone, but literally all you need to do is create that content, put a link in the description for your Instagram or your Facebook for people to message you if they want to work with you. And trust me, you will have people asking to work with you. And this is where premium branding comes in, right? You're putting out your expertise, you're adding value into the world, and now you're attracting rather than chasing. This is another major piece that comes with premium branding. Premium brands attract, they don't chase. Premium brands are not out here, begging for clients and customers. They just demonstrate their authority, they demonstrate their substance, they demonstrate their story, they demonstrate their status, and they draw the right people in. Right? I heard this recently, and this was insane. Lamborghini, the marketing team, does not advertise on television because their target audience is not sitting around watching TV. Crazy. I don't even know where to see a Lamborghini advertisement. I've never seen one, but I know what Lamborghini is. I've seen them on the street. I've seen them, rich people drive them on Instagram and on YouTube. And so that even the way that they show up, it communicates something to you. They're not out here begging for customers. They know who their customers are. They know who their target is, and their messaging and their way of messaging is in line with what it is that they are, what it is that their target audience, where they are, where the target is. So the same thing with your business, with your product, with your coaching, with whatever it is. You need to align where you show up with where your target audience is. If your target audience is premium buyers, premium clients, high level people, you need to show up in those rooms. If you're going to pay to end up in a high level mastermind or coaching program so that you can just be in the presence and add value to people who may want your services, do it. And if you fulfill and do well, those people will share with their other high level friends, and boom, now you have referrals and you have more clients there. But you need to show up in places where your target audience is. Not like when your target is everybody, trust me, you're not going to reach anybody. If you try to reach everyone, you reach no one. You need to sit down, figure out, what do I have to offer? What have I done in my life? What have I accomplished? What have I experienced that I could help somebody else with? Who was I a year ago? Who was I 2 years ago? Who was I 5 years ago? I need to identify that person, help that person get to where I am now. Okay. And that doesn't mean that you can't reach out to premium clients. If you weren't born rich, I mean, that's fine. You could still reach out to premium clients, but you need to offer something that they need. What do premium people need? And it's something to research. It's something to look up. I'm reading this book right now called the No BS. What is it called? The No BS Guide to Marketing to the Affluent by Dan Kennedy. And this whole book is about, how do you reach people who have money? How do you find people that have money? Right? Because especially if you're charging high ticket for your coaching program or consulting package, that's $10,000, $25,000, $50,000. You're not going to market that and pitch that to people who don't have money. It just doesn't make sense. Right? Like, you're going to find people that can afford what you have to offer. How do you get in front of those people's eyes? How do you get in the room with those people? How do you have conversations with those people? That's the question you need to ask, and that's what that book answers as well. And it's been great so far. Highly recommend. So this is premium branding, okay? Premium branding, again, starts with the substance, starts with, what is it that you're offering? Make it quality, make it bulletproof, make it great. Now, what is the story surrounding your substance? What is the narrative? What is it? What are the associations? What are the feelings and emotions associated with your substance, with your coaching package or your product? And then as a result of those two, what is the status that somebody will have after associating with you, after working with you, after um, purchasing from you, right? What is the status? Is their status going to be elevated or is it going to go down? Right? You always want their status to go up after associating with you, after purchasing from you, because that makes their status and their value go up, and that increases their perception and their reputation, which is what everybody wants, which is what we talked about, which is just part of human nature. So yeah, this is premium branding 101. This is really the 3 S's of premium branding: substance, story, status. And there's so much more to talk about, but I really just wanted to, lay a foundation here for this conversation, because there are a lot of people out there putting out products or putting out um coaching packages or promoting themselves, and it's just like they don't even know who they're trying to target. They don't even know who they are, so they are confused. And if you're confused, your messaging is going to be confused, and then your audience is going to be confused, and then nobody's going to buy. So you have to be crystal clear on who you are. What are you offering? What is your story? What is the status that you want someone to gain out of working with you or buying from you? And now you're going to be crystal clear, and you're going to be able to actually hit your target because you know where you're trying to go. And the reason why you want to work with premium clients and high level clients rather than, cheap clients, truthfully, and low ticket buyers, low ticket meaning $50, $100, less than really less than $5,000, is because when low ticket buyers invest at a high level, or they invest in general, because it's so much of their net worth that they're giving up, they're going to feel like, man, I'm entitled to getting the whole world from this person because I've invested this amount. And trust me, I've worked with those types of clients, and it's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt because with someone like that, there is a lack of internal accountability and responsibility. And that's why they have that lower net worth, because there's a constant projecting and externalizing and blaming their circumstances rather than taking internal accountability and getting up and putting in the work and making the changes they need to make. So they blame everything on everybody else and everyone else around them, everything else around them, because yeah, it's just easier to do. But that also is self-sabotaging, and it keeps them stuck in that same position. Right? So the key is to work with people who are already established, already in motion, already doing their thing, and charge more than 5K, at least more than 5K for your coaching package or consulting package that you're going to offer people, because it's going to attract a certain type of audience that's already driven, that's already making moves, that's already committed. And the higher you go, the higher level client you're going to have. And most of the time, those people are just out doing their thing and so busy working that they have barely enough time to bother you. So they're just going to reach out when they need you, or, but they value time. So they're not going to be all over you begging for your time, your energy, your attention, because they don't need hand holding. The clients that need hand holding are the ones that are not worth the amount that they're paying. So yeah. And I would much rather work with, let's do the math here. I'm going to write on the board. I would much rather work with 10 $10,000 clients than, let me just write it down. So 100K. I'd rather work with 10. I'd rather work with 10 $10,000 clients than work with, how many is it? If I were to do $1,000, how many zeros do I gotta add? 100. Than $100,000 clients. Those $100,000 clients, number one, are going to be a pain because of the level that they're at and how much they're going to expect out of you, because they are not, in motion already. They're not at a level yet where they're self-reliant. They're like babies, and whatever it is the yeah. And this is only if it's coaching. If it's like a course that's automated or something where they just watch and you're removed from the picture and they're just watching recordings and implementing themselves, great, cool. That's cool. But if we're talking about coaching where you're hopping on calls and you're talking to them and answering questions and all this stuff, I would much rather do $10,000 clients than $100,000 clients any day of the week. And this is only done through premium branding. Only with a premium brand and premium messaging, a premium story, premium substance, premium status are you going to attract people that are willing to pay $10,000 for your coaching program or your package, whatever you're offering. But if your messaging communicates cheap, communicates low commitment, communicates this is for everybody, then you might attract a lot of people that are willing to pay $1,000, but it's not going to be pretty when it comes to fulfillment, when it comes to actually working with them. If you're doing coaching, again, if you're doing a course, cool. I'm okay with that. But if you're doing coaching for $1,000 and you're doing 100 and you're committing to, that's going to be a pain in the butt. That is going to be a pain in the butt. So premium branding is key, because when you do that on the front end, on the back end, you're going to be working with higher level people, fewer of them. Most of them are going to be already self-driven, self-motivated, not needing hand holding, and they're going to get great results as well. So yeah, this is Premium Branding 101. I think I'm just going to wrap up here, but in the future, I may take some questions if people have anything. If you want to put something in the chat, y'all could do that. But yeah, just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about this. Really, really important if you want to have a business that does not give you a headache and does not take away all of your time from you. Because that's another thing. You don't want to build a business that's going to take your life away from you. Like, you want to build a business that's going to give you your time back, give you your energy back, and also allow you to enjoy what you're doing. Because what's the point of starting a business if you're going to hate it, right? You might as well. I mean, it might be better if you're getting paid better than a 9 to 5, but still, like, the ideal is build a business, pays you well, gives you your time back, you enjoy doing it, checks off all the boxes, you're good to go. So pretty much it. Gonna leave it there. Thank you all for following along, and would love to hear if y'all have any questions. Put them in the comments. That can feed some of the content that I'll create moving forward. My goal is to really just do these live streams frequently, just to teach, just to get in the groove and provide y'all with value. So that's all for today. And yeah,